Hello everybody. I apologise that it's been quite a few weeks since I've made a video, but I have been travelling. I spent quite a while in India travelling around, and also I was quite sick for a while, part of that being due to the fact that I was in India and I picked up some sickness there. But now I'm back to health, fingers crossed, and I'm going to start off with a very simple video talking about one of my favourite themes, which is conjunctions. Now, what are conjunctions? These are little words, typically little words, that join short sentences together to make long sentences. Now, for those who've watched some of my earlier videos, I say that one of the most difficult skills to acquire is the ability to keep going as you're talking in long sentences. Once you've mastered that, to be able to say short sentences is then very easy. And my whole series of videos talking about conversational connectors tells you my approach for how to break through into being able to do this. But a miniature version of that is, sort of a quick start, is to learn how to use conjunctions. And these are words like and, but, therefore. Here are some examples. I am feeling better now, therefore I am making videos. So two sentences which were combined. Obviously, nothing complicated there. Now, I once worked for an American firm which brought in a specialist in something called power talk. This was meant to be language which made you seem powerful. I'm not sure why they wanted us to learn this, but they claimed that most conjunctions were signs of weakness, and a strong person would never use them. Only and should be used. It's the powerful word, and other conjunctions are weak. For example, but is making an excuse. I could do it, but I'm not going to. Oh, that's making an excuse. If you say and instead, you're sounding powerful. I could do it, and I'm not going to. So they made us practice words, phrases combined only with and. Even where you would think it doesn't make sense. For example, I would like to buy it, but I don't have any money. We should now say, I would like to buy it and I don't have any money. So, one school of thought is to reduce all conjunctions to and. It sounds like nonsense, but you actually can do it. But I propose that people should work in the opposite direction, which is to become very rich with the conjunctions that are used. This way you can have more subtle shades of meaning and sound more fluent, and actually not just sound, be more fluent. Now, this reminds me of one of my friends who had quite an extensive vocabulary. She could say in Czech words like octopus and helicopter and carbon. She knew all the words for these things, but she could only say short sentences. She didn't know how to combine them, and when she did combine them, she would only ever say and or but or sometimes therefore. So she would say things like there is an octopus and there is a helicopter. Now, if we learn more, a greater richness of conjunctions, we can say things that immediately sound more fluent. There is an octopus, whereas there is a helicopter. You see the difference? And what's important here is words like octopus, helicopter, and carbon, even though they're nice to know, these are words that you aren't going to use very frequently, whereas conjunctions you can use all the time. So the benefit you get from learning them seems to me dramatic. It seems huge compared to the small effort required to learn them. So I suggest that people who want to know what word should I learn next, when they're just starting to learn to get active, just starting to learn to speak rather than just having passive listening, I recommend people learn lots of conjunctions and practice using them. It'll give the impression that you are more fluent, and you actually will be more fluent. You'll be very rich in the ways you can combine individual small sentences into larger sentences and be able to chain them very nicely. So words like whereas, which in Czech is gdežto. My mother lives in England, whereas I live in Prague. Instead of saying my mother lives in England, but I live in Prague. Since, neboť, meaning because. So, I don't have any money because I am unemployed. You could say, I don't have any money since I am unemployed. So it's a slightly richer version. Consequently, instead of saying therefore, I am unemployed, consequently, I don't have any money. However, so in Czech is avšak. So my mother lives in England, however, I live in Prague. You see, you can substitute these and they have finer shades of meaning. And as you use them over and over again, they'll become very natural to you and you'll be able to use them very fluently. Whereupon, instead of saying then, I won some money, whereupon I started spending like crazy. Yes? Even though. So, even though I have only a little bit of money, I like spending. Now, this is an example where in Czech and in other language, as well as these having very fine shades of different meaning, there are actually synonyms. So, třebaže, i když, ačkoliv, bitch, and several others mean exactly the same thing. But if you mix them in sentences, if you substitute one for the other and use them at different times, again it'll give the impression that your fluency is high, and it actually will be high because you understand how to substitute and you'll be able to vary your word use quite frequently. So that's the end of this very short video. I don't see many people talking about the importance of conjunctions, and it's very easy to be stuck in a rut of just using and but and so on. However, I believe that spending some time learning them and then using them and substituting them pays massive dividends. That's it. Thanks for your time.